Good evening, everyone. William Mead here, 1799. Glad you could come around. Threats. Threats from abroad. Threats right here at home. Threats in your counties, your cities, your states, and in your country, and in Washington, D.C. Threats. And the threat level, how high it is. But what about fears goes with it? Does that not also apply? When you have a president, or I would say a candidate at the time, that sits there and tells you that, or mocks the founding fathers and mocks the rights that you have, about firearms and the right to defend yourselves, the ban of assault weapons, or so-called assault weapons, battlefield weapons, don't need a cannon, that sort of thing. But if our founding fathers were alive today, they would think about a whole different world. A world at which they had hope and set forth for you to be free. Where government does not have the right to use the word democracy and use what they call a majority over people. But that's what it is. That's what they call democracy. Your rights are yours. Period. These people paid a very, very heavy price, which we celebrate every year, which we call the 4th of July, Independence Day. But the right to own a firearm to defend yourselves and your family is the right that they've given you, not the right of a government. Self-preservation comes from God, not from government, not from another man or another woman. Turns around and tells you, no, you will not have the right to take arms to defend yourself. No, you will not have the right to stand in front of a criminal. No, you do not have the right to stop a criminal activity. And when it comes to your rights, we will decide what your rights are. Which then comes right down to the right of owning a firearm. We can honor a driver's license in every state. But when it comes to a firearm permit or a firearm, certain states just don't recognize it. Because you didn't go through our certain training or our certain way of doing things, or your firearm is not registered in our state. And registration is kind of weird, because when you look at, how can I best way to say it about registration? Registration is legislation. It's taking the firearm off your fingertips, basically. Because we control everything. So when it comes down to your rights, it's what we decide. We control. We tell you. Thus comes right down to the point of what you're allowed to own. We tell you what kind of car you're going to drive. We're going to tell you what kind of stove or hot water heater is going to be in your home. We're going to tell you what kind of heater system you're going to have. We're going to tell you you can't barbecue. We're going to tell you you can't have campfires. We're going to tell you what you can and cannot do. Now, what does all this come down to? Right? When people, like some Asian people I had a chance to talk to, left a country to come to this country and find out the same language that they left, it's kind of scary. Well, we all are sitting here complaining about we wanted this and we should have that and we should deny this and everything is racist, the Constitution is racist, the Founding Fathers are racist. What does all this come down to? Then you had the CIA jumping up and down. You had the FBI jumping down, Homeland Security jumping up and down, and all these hearings about terrorism that's in your country. Yes, we are due for a terrorist attack. Okay. So what does that say? Does that not still apply for you need the right to have a firearm to defend yourselves? Then you hear this popular word called career criminal. I guess there must be some new type of trades out there where you can go to school to be a professional career criminal. I guess it depends what level you're at too. And I guess maybe because the career criminal are complaining because people are armed and they cannot support their families because they cannot go out and drug, steal, murder, rape, and everything else, and buy illegal firearms because citizens want to defend themselves. So we should need to make laws against that so we can prosper in our careers and eventually retire from our career. Sounds stupid, doesn't it? But believe it or not, that is what's going on up in Washington. That's what's going on in your state-controlled Democratic governments. It sounds stupid, but yeah. But listen to their language. Listen how they talk. Extrapolate, pull away the wordings and how and this legislation nonsense. It all comes down to self-preservation, the right to defend yourselves. They want to dictate to you. They want to tell you. And that's not what our government is for. They want to use the military all around the world to politically and financially support themselves, I guess. And then they turn around and they create this nonsense about, oh, we're going to pay for colleges and we're going to allow wokeness in our military and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And you sit back and say, what doesn't make no sense. But this is what you got going on. And then you hear the people complain about, well, we need term limits. Well, God darn it, all you have to do is go to your counties, your districts, and your political parties say you want more than one candidate up here instead of voting the same fool in. Then you have courts that are involved, they're politically charged, which they're supposed to be neutral. But when it comes down to your right to what kind of firearm you want to use to protect yourself, nope. We don't ban that firearm. It's a murderous weapon. And then once they get a hold of that firearm, well, we're going to get a hold of the handgun firearm because you don't need that. You know, I think we're going to make a law so nobody can carry a firearm. Make it a federal law. In fact, we want to change the courts to bring everything back the way it used to be where we had power. We, the political party. We, the Democrats. And that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to manipulate you into fear, confusion, and chaos to a point to where, yeah, maybe we should start looking at how we should run ourselves. Maybe we do need more people to spy and locate. Maybe we need more people to rat on other people. Maybe we need to do that. That's where all these red flag laws came in. Your red flag laws actually violates the Bill of Rights. But you know what? We're willing to surrender that right. And then you need more background checks, and more background checks, and more background checks. If they are ever able to really strip you of your constitutional rights, or literally remove the Second Amendment and make it only the government's approval, you think these background checks are going to stop? Oh no. You'll have Gestapo-like police knocking at your door, wanting to do a background check on you, even though you don't own a firearm. They're going to eventually sit there and say, we need to know more about you for our records. We think you're hiding something. We want to tell you how you spend your money. We're going to tell you what kind of school your children go to. We're going to decide how your life should be. We're going to decide what kind of medical treatment you need. And whether you are still worthy to keep you in the workforce. Or do we just have to let you euthanize? Process of selection. All these things came from Mussolini, Stalin, Mao, all these people, Hitler himself. The Constitution says we the people. Don't let those jokers up there in Washington turn and say, no, that means us, no, not you. And that's what they're manipulating this whole thing into. It's us, not you. We need to protect our democracy, they keep telling you. What is democracy? Democracy is when the people vote individuals in office, depending upon their state, local, or federal government. It's the majority that rules. We vote an individual in because we want that individual there to represent us. That's what the founders intended. In today's world, no, it's not that way. Democracy is, well, two parties voted, one party overruled another, and we're the majority and we rule. Our laws now steadfast. So you're ruled by democracy. But is it really democracy or a ruling factor? We'll tell you what kind of firearm. We decide whether you're allowed to own a firearm. The Democrat Party, Rhino Republicans, and there are out there, for some reason overlook the Constitution, which states, which is we the people. But they're so damn worried about other countries and other people, and we need billions of dollars and more money for gun control. And we're so deeply in debt. And then they talk about the border wall, the border wall, the border wall. I don't care whether you're Republicans or Democrats, you could have overrode the President of the United States, so we're going to secure that because it's a national security issue. They wrap a political party, political politics. Your gun rights belong to you. It's not like a driver's license. Understand what they're trying to do here. Don't give up anything, don't surrender anything. Until then, keep your friends and family close, and we'll catch you around. And remember, vote, but understand what you're voting for. Research these people. Get the right people in there to stop this nonsense, or you're going to lose it. Take care.